Hello, Farlanders. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. That's right. Welcome back to a full-on official episode of Farlands or Bust, episode 832. Those of you watching live on Twitch, if you've watched before, you know that if Wolfie woofs too soon, like before the world renders, that one doesn't count. I have to have Wolfie woof when we are fully present and aware of our surroundings. Especially in this particular case when we're looking right at him in our deluxe TNT carved hidey hole from the last live stream. So let's grab Wolfie. That was weird. That was like a weird little glitch that cut through that dirt. But we grab Wolfie and continue west as he pushes us into the water. But we first must secure the hidey hole. And now we can continue west towards these here far lands. Over yonder, here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. Indeed. This episode coming out on Friday, July 1st, 2022. Like I said, it's episode 832 here of season 10 of the series. Another July of Farlands or Bust begins. We've been doing more streaming. Pretty frequent streaming of Farlands or Bust. Those streams always going up on YouTube if you missed them. Somebody requested that I make podcasts out of the streams, but I don't think that works. I think the decision not to do that is a right one, because there's like the full stream thing going on. There's a lot of like alerts and sound effects and bits and subs and things like that. But also there is definitely more dead air that I like don't mind having because it's a stream, and then I can just blame chat for not like giving me things to talk about. As opposed to these episodes, even y'all recognize it. There's a flob episode voice that I turn on. I flick the switch, dial the knob, and I definitely feel like I need to keep talking to keep it worth like listening to as a podcast, and first and foremost as a YouTube video. But yes, here we are in Farlands or Bust. Continuing west. I feel like making some pretty good progress. I don't know. We did just get done talking about the I don't know if I talked about this in the Farlands or Bust episode or a stream or whatnot, but people were wondering where Juno is. And she lives in the basement to keep separate from the cats. So I was thinking, I've thought like pretty much every year since I've lived here. Careful, Wolfie. Maybe I should set up the office, i.e. my desk and streaming PC, everything set up in the basement. Particularly during the summer, when it's very hot and there's no air conditioning. And it'll be nice and cool down there, and I'll also be keeping Juno company. So yeah, that's an option, but there's a lot of steps. There's a lot of steps and things to figure out to make that work, which is why I haven't implemented that until maybe now? I don't know. I don't know. But I have been getting out on some good walks with the June bug. So Juno is doing just fine. Just fine indeed. She's a lazy dog. Even when I was at my old place, she would just follow me around everywhere. And then if I was streaming, she'd just lay down. I don't think she's She's not a dog that, like, has her own agenda. Like, gets up and goes around and, like, does things. Doesn't play with toys on her own or anything like that. At the most, I'll turn on some old episodes of Star Trek to play continually. And, like, she'll be distracted by that, maybe? I don't know. Perhaps. She watches the TV when we're watching the TV down there. Indeed. Oh, dang it, I just fed you, you dingus. Speaking of dogs. Kaylee's dog only plays if I tell him he'll get a treat. Yeah, she's not even motivated. Like, we've thrown frisbees and balls and sticks and... Yeah, the only thing, like, she'll ever do is if there is a treat inside of it. Like a puzzle toy or whatever. Like, she doesn't even really chew stuff. Except for that, like, that dental, toothbrush thing. She'll, like, chew on, because she's just trying to lick off all the toothpaste stuff that you put on it. And, yeah, beyond that, she doesn't use, like, dog chews or like, anything like that. Like, family and friends and stuff have bought, like, toys for her and, like, thanks! Or squeaky toys, even. But no, she doesn't have any interest whatsoever in any of that jazz. Which is... I don't know, I guess not unusual, but I mean, previously, Eva, you know, was like quite the opposite. She was not a snuggler, but always wanted to, like, play fetch with a stuffed animal or a frisbee or whatever. A run and chase sort of dog. Honestly, Peepers plays fetch. More than Juno ever has. Niblet, kind of the same way. Juno and Niblet, I think, have a lot in common. They're very chill. Niblet only recently has started to be, like, open about getting pets and belly rubs. Niblet really doesn't talk too much, although lately he's started to. Juno never talks, never barks, never nothing. Like, the girlfriend was even, like, trying to teach her to, like, speak, but, like, it didn't work. She'll learn tricks and everything like that, roll over and whatever, and jump up on things, but speak is not one of them. I've heard her bark. She's barked. And you can get her to howl if you play a howling dog video. Or wolf video or whatever, but... dogs. For the last few weeks, it has been fireworks season here. So she hates that, so we have to very strategically get her to go outside. For the bathroom. Because if she's outside and a firework happens in a 10-mile radius, she will want desperately to come back in, even if she hasn't done anything. But she's gotten better about it. First couple years she was with me, she was like a leaf, like having a panic attack with fireworks. But still, I think a normal dog thing to be afraid of fireworks. But yeah, they're crazy around here. And they've been crazy. Alright, it's elevated Hidey whole time. Forgot how to Forgot how to elevated hidey hole. And I forgot to like say in the morning. I'm very much confusing the streams and the episodes. In the streams, I don't even snore just because we sleep so much. It would ruin my voice. I just hop into the bed. Everything's falling apart. The narrative, our traditions are eroding. Eroding. Speaking of eroding, how about that US government? No, I was gonna say, yeah, the fireworks and the 4th of July are coming up, but I don't really see much point in celebrating anything. Not much worth celebrating on the 4th of July of America here. Which is weird because I'm like feeling okay. Because I've like started at least some medication. But like everything else is still terrible. If not worse. So it's kind of, I don't know. Ooh. Don't mind if I do. Oh. I don't know why my shovel was up there. So yeah, there was a very, let's call it a poignant meme that somebody posted of a musical metronome. You know, the thing that goes back and forth, and on one side is, a better world is possible. And then on the other side is, we're all completely screwed, in a different word. And then it's like, this is me every day. And it's very true. Hopeless optimism, I think, is a good summary. A good abstract on the thought. Whoa, hi, hey guy. Good lord. Good lord. We're trying to improve the mood here? Only to just get accosted by this rude dude. Alright, fine then. You do that. You have your fun. That was an ambush. Good gravy. I mean, that does kind of bring up also to the other point of, like, normally we have a charity associated with Farlands or Bust, and I've been, like, trying to think of a charity, and, like, in the back of my head, I've been thinking we haven't done any environmental or, like, climate change activist-centered charities. I was looking on Tiltify, and none of them that I've found I was either not familiar with or like really stuck out. And given the goings-ons today, that seems very reasonable as well to find an environmental climate change centered charity or cause. But then there's also like the abortion funds, the Planned Parenthoods, like particularly in the states that don't have or won't have protections, I feel like are a good idea to support. Yeah, I don't know. That's my problem. I like find it hard to like pick one. But I know people have said, "Oh, just have multiples," but that makes it difficult and makes it both difficult to track and difficult to like encourage donations for. I don't know. It's like you said, it's that defeated optimism. Currently on that swing of the metronome. So what else is new with you? Ah. Somebody, I'm getting out, and see, now look what's happening. This dead air is encroaching on our episodes, especially since I did one, I'm doing one without any sort of outline or conversational ideas or any sort of like donation questions from donors of anything. Somebody earlier in chat, when I was looking for topics, asked spooky noises. Asked, original boxes, do you keep them? Yes. For some reason. Like, I have the original box for the Wi-Fi router that I'd been using that has now been replaced by my mesh situation. I still have that mesh box. It's, as somebody who has moved frequently, for that sort of stuff that, like, you don't feel comfortable just throwing loose into a box, that's very helpful. But then you do also end up with a lot of boxes. And or a lot of old, unusable, unused items and equipment in their boxes in another box that you're just holding onto for some reason. It's kind of problematic in that regard. I think I'm a lot better at it. I mean, that's the idea, is like, oh, you keep the original box, A, it makes it easier to move, but B, when you're done using it or you replace it, you could sell it in the original box. Nobody's selling things. Who sells things? Who has the time? Who honestly has the time to sell a 4-year-old Wi-Fi router, original in box? Is the time you invest in taking pictures and listing it and meeting and taking calls with people going to be worth the $28 that somebody's going to pay for this thing? And is the box, is the existence of it being in the box actually going to bring any more value? No. No, it is not. I mean, I have my, like, the Xbox box. The Xbox One box that the Xbox One was in. I keep that. That one's actually convenient for, like, moving, because it has a bunch of padding, and it, like, is nice and compact. I mean, I'm the same way with clothes. I have a bunch of clothes that, like, I either bought and don't fit, and are non-returnable, like, or are, like, kind of mostly unworn, but are, like, nice clothes that don't fit because I've gotten old. That I'm like, oh, I could sell these. This is like a nice J. Crew shirt or whatever. And I maybe used to do that on, like, eBay. with some like fancy boots or a jacket or something like that. But now I just have a bin and drawers full of things where I'm like, I could sell that. But it really... The more you do it, the more you see the diminishing returns on such transactions. Which, I don't know, I don't know what that is an indictment of. My own laziness, fast fashion, and just the churn of the economy and consumerism. Like, even selling a car now just seems like too much of a hassle. I'll just stick with it till it dies. Same goes for me. Alright, let's go to sleep. And continue in the morning. And awakeness. You know what is good, though? Computer tower boxes. Not only do they take up a lot of space, but they have those little padded corners that you can put your computer into and then move with. So yeah, I still have like the computer tower boxes. The computer towers are not in them. So yeah, there is, speaking of the basement, we were talking about the basement. There's a little storage nook that is now just empty boxes. From like my printer and like these two computer towers. And other such. Oh, and like the monitors. The girlfriend for me sold 2 old monitors. My like super duper old Dell Ultra Sharp monitor, which was like the bee's knees at the time. And very expensive. And then my larger curved, what I was using as my like racing setup, my racing wheel setup monitor, which was really cheap and dull and slow, but it was like a 27-inch curved monitor. She sold those for me because she's still on the Facebook, where I am not on the Facebook. But even that, it took like 3 months for like somebody to actually like buy it. I think we tried to sell our old oven because it still worked. It was just very, very old. And I drove to a place to like meet with people and they never showed up. So we ended up just bringing the oven to the dump. And recycling it for free in their large appliance section. But I also keep stupid boxes, like, for my mouse. I have many Mies boxes. I have the boxes for, like, the coffee maker and the coffee bean grinder. Yeah, where does it end? When does it end? How does it end? When will it end? Please make it end. I have so many keyboards, like actual keyboards, that have stopped working in their boxes. Mouses that have stopped working in their boxes. Yeah, I'm talking about like And returning. When was the last time you returned an item? I feel like returning doesn't happen as often anymore. Because we're not buying things from physical stores. It's on. I honestly used to do it a lot because I used to buy a lot of clothes on the internet before I gave up on my appearance. And so yeah, stuff wouldn't fit, and like if they had free returns or whatever, I'd return it. The girlfriend bought a hat that didn't fit her. Like a big... Didn't Cone get a big, like, hat? Like a... What are those called? Like a... the word is in my mind is fern, but that's wrong. Straw. A big straw hat. We got a big black straw hat, but it's too big for her tiny, tiny head. And too small for my giant melon. So like that she wants to return, but has to go to, like, the UPS store or whatever. For the drop-off. Well, yeah, I mean, that happened to me last time with the Datsun. Dang it, I'm talking about the Datsun again. In addition, thank God, to the thermostat, I was also going to change the water pump because everybody says to change the water pump, but they sent me the wrong water pump, and I don't know, it was like 15 bucks or whatever from Rock Auto, and I'm like, it's the right box, but a different water pump is inside, so they just refunded me and said don't even bother returning it. Which now I'm stuck with this water pump that I don't know what car it belongs to. I guess like there's metal recycling. I guess I can bring it to the metal recycling drop-off. Phones, I guess I have phone boxes too. Although those come in handy because like Google and like phone companies are starting to like take old phones for like credit. eBay it. I mean, that's what I would do. I would eBay. I would eBay things. But I don't even want to do that anymore. I'm gonna return this Peepers to the store. He's broken. Refund. Out of warranty. So yeah. I used to too often, because I was selling stuff like that I didn't need on eBay, I would then also keep boxes, like shipping boxes that I would receive from like Amazon or wherever. And then it became like a room full of empty shipping boxes. And then I'm like, uh-oh, I'm gonna turn into one of these people. So yeah, just recycle your cardboard boxes. Just it's easy. It's the one thing that like is easy to recycle, since they don't take glass and most plastics or anything like that. Is it me, or have the Minecraft days gone fast here? I can't keep up. Throw away your keyboards that don't work. Yeah, I mean, that also feels bad. Well, no, yeah, it does feel bad. There are, like, electronics recycling drop-off places that you just kind of hope things go in somewhere that isn't just the landfill. And you just kind of like, I guess. it makes me feel good to think I'm recycling, and that's the end of my knowledge of the process. Power adapters, yes, they're speaking. You know, my favorite thing to do is to speak aloud memes that I've seen to people. There's the meme of Bilbo Baggins. It's like, why shouldn't I keeps it? And it's a power adapter for like something you don't know exists anymore. You know what I'm talking about. You have that image in your head. Spooky noises. Just don't keep broken stuff, it's not efficient. True, the girlfriend and I have very much both been like, there's too much stuff. We have too much stuff. We don't really, in the grand scheme of things. But even the stuff that we do have feels like too much. Then again, she did bring home an entire deer skull that she found in the woods yesterday. So, there's that. Paint it gold, put it in a picture frame, and sell it on eBay. Or Etsy, even. What is wrong? Oh, I thought that the ice was like lighter colored here. It's because I was seeing the snow through it. I'm like, what is this random weird patch of ice that I'm looking at? Well, this, I guess, was an episode of Far Lands or Bust. I feel like we just started, and I feel like we got nothing done. Like most of my days after waking up. A very accurate representation. So yeah, thank you for watching and listening. How many boxes do you have in your closet or basement? Perhaps you rent a storage space. I mean, no judgment, but at least I don't have a storage space. At least I'm not paying somebody else for a place to hold on to my junk. That, I think, is one life achievement that should be celebrated among all of us who can say. Make some beds for the next... Let's admit it, it's going to be a stream. Do that. Workbench back. And yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry about this one. Yeah. I hopefully you'll enjoy a future episode of Far Lands or Bust, or check out the streams. You know, there's programs where you can rip an entire YouTube video to an MP3 and then listen to it as if it's a podcast. Cut out the middleman and just make it your own podcast is what I'm saying, if that's how you want to watch and stay up on your Far Lands or Bust content. It's up to you to deal with the dead air and Twitch alerts during that sort of thing, but that's your top tip of the day. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. I'll just stick with it till it dies.